guys, before we get into it, how are you guys doing? Listen, this is a weird time. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't even know what's going to happen today, tomorrow. Like, it's unexpected. It's scary. It's not easy for a lot of us. And a lot of you have reached out saying you're keeping me in your prayers. I'm doing the same for you. We gonna get through it. We gonna get through it. But until we do, let's get some laughs in. Let's get into it. Listen, at this point, bravo. Stop taking these women out of the country. They are embarrassing Americans everywhere. Every housewife international girls trip is just a nightmare. None of them are ever successful. It's always embarrassing to watch as an American because when you travel, you are representing your country wherever you go. And I'm just like, that's why they don't like us. Anyway, the ladies are in Greece acting a plum fool. I will say this though, right? This fight between Nene and Kenya, this conversation should have never happened after these ladies had drinks, especially Nene. She was clearly lit. I'm not excusing her behavior, but she was clearly drunk, and this conversation probably should not have happened. It probably should have happened at breakfast, maybe before y'all got to the mimosas, something like that, when everybody was sane and heads were clear and there wasn't anything within them to make them react a certain way or made them act on things that they would not have acted on if they weren't inebriated. I don't think that Nene's behavior was appropriate, but I have to be honest here. The lady was drunk. You don't have these kind of conversations with somebody, heated conversations. They're going to get heated. Important conversations like that when somebody is under the influence. And I feel like Kenya and Portia knew that. You know what I mean? You've been on the show with this woman long enough. The best time you're going to get a scene out of her is after she has, had a couple drinks or probably popped some pills. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they knew that, and that's why they, wanted to do this, because you just have to be honest here. The ladies are also producing storylines as well. So these ladies know each other. They know what buttons to push. They know how to get a scene going, and they know how to stay on the show. Not hating, just observing. Can I just say, last week, at the end of last week's episode in Nene's confessional, when she was like, F Kenya in her, but I thought before she got to the bad skin, I clenched my pearls because I thought that she was going to say baby. When she said bad skin, I was like, ugh, I still clenched. I was like, ugh, that's low. But when she said bad skin, I was expecting baby. It immediately took me to that video of that. Do y'all remember that video? It goes viral every year, of that girl on live talking about, she was talking about her baby father's girlfriend, and she was just like, I hope you're ready to die, you and your baby. Remember that? She's like, I was just going through his page, and I saw her liking everything. Remember?
I hope you're ready to die by that dick, because I'm ready to go to war for it. I'm ready to go to war. And that's on Saul. I get active, little mama. He should have told you about me. I get active, little baby. Ma'am, missus, I get active for real. So I hope you love your baby. I hope you love your baby, because I'm stopping both of y'all acts.
That took me back to that, and I was like, Nene, please tell me you're not talking about that woman's baby. But she wasn't. But she was talking about her skin. Still low. Nene does this thing of where she feels like she's backed in a corner. She goes lower than anybody could ever imagine. It's always so low that even a Nene stan, which I am not, can't defend her. You know what I mean? They have tried, but it's just you can't, you cannot excuse that comment. That's something that Kenya is very self-conscious about. So, you guys weren't even in a war of words like that where it even had to get to that point. And it seemed like this confessional was shot way after, because her wig is different. Right? We're getting this confessional from her about Greece later in the season, and her wig and her whole entire outfit has changed. So this is later in the season, or probably after the season, and you still feel this way about this woman? It seems like it actually got worse, because all of her comments about Kenya, even the confessionals at this point, now that the season is wrapping up, they're getting really dark. You know what I mean? The comments that she's making. For earlier in the season, she was trying to reconcile and saying all these kind, in a Nene kind of way, things about Kenya, but now it's just really dark, really nasty. even in her interviews that she does about the show today, like currently they're still very nasty, saying that she didn't spit on her, but now she wishes that she did spit on Kenya. And I'm like, why would you want to do that's just very, very ugly. At your big age, like why are you in your 50s saying that you wish you would have spit on someone, or that you acted like you were going to spit on them, but you didn't, and now you regret it, and now you want to do it, and you're saying that, and you're okay with it. That's sick. That is really, really sick. You're talking about something that happened a while ago. Not only are you angry, you're even more upset about it, and you want to do something even more awful than the thing that you attempted to do. And you have had time, you have talked to people, and you're still here. You know how normally when you're in an argument and you say things that, you know, in that moment you probably meant, you know what I mean? But if you weren't so upset, you would not have said it. And then you get out of that later and you're just like, listen, I was mad at this person, rightfully so that I was mad. I should not have said that, right? Like we all have that where it's just like, oh, I was wrong. You know what I mean? Like what that person did to me was not right, but I just should not have gotten out of myself like that. Nene don't have that. She's just like, oh no, I wish I would have done something even worse. Really? Let's talk about this comment that another comment that Nene made about Kenya, because Nene and Kenya are still in the thick of this like argument that they're having. And she said, girl, you doing all of this for a lower rate, which was to come at Kenya, because this is what happened, y'all. Kenya did not show her wedding, her relationship with Mark. And when you do stuff like that, right, you get kicked off the show. Like everybody else is showing their life. That's the only thing about these reality TV shows. You cannot hide nothing or they will remove you from your contract. There has to be some kind of clause in that, because the minute you show something and the cameras are not there, they kick these women off. So I'm thinking there's something in the contract where it does not allow that, or they don't renegotiate with you, right? Because I think she missed like 2 seasons. She's not getting the same rate as anybody on the show. Honestly, she probably getting less than Tanya. She definitely getting less than Marlo, right? So Nene, who's best buddies with Andy, of course she knew that. So when she said that, I was like, there you go. There you go with the lowest of the lows. I will say this, right? Kenya has shade. Like she says some shady things. That can get nasty, right? Nene starts at nasty. Like there ain't no shade, it's just nasty. And she makes it seem like it's shade because she got a little southern twang, she throws a little honey in it, but it's just nasty. Like she is just cutting you. She just always says something to end it. You know what I mean? She can't hit you, so she'll just end it. There are people who will go into war words with people. Nene starts off. She won't even go back and forth. She'll just say something to end it. And then if that doesn't end it, she will go lower. That is her thing. And I'm like, why? You know, like, this is why you and this girl will never make up. Because you say all of this stuff to her, like, what, a day ago about, I feel bad for you. I'm here for you. I understand. And then like within 24 or 48, 32 hours, you're demeaning her about her rape. You're demeaning her about her marriage. Like you're coming at everything that you know could break this woman. So I understand Kenya not wanting to befriend Nene. Just knowing who she is, right? That's the problem. Both of them know who each other are, right? When Kenya came onto this show, she knew that Nene was the top dog and she wanted to get in good with Nene. Because of that, Nene started to treat her a certain way, right? Kenya allowed it until she started to get popular. When she started to get popular, I think it was around the Gone with the Wind, because she came in as somebody trying to break up Phaedra's relationship, right? Phaedra's marriage with Apollo. So she wasn't really well liked because she came in as like, you know, the home wrecker, right? Then when she did that Gone with the Wind fabulous thing, that twirl, when she did that, that's when like her celebrity on the show really started to take off. At that point, she realized she didn't need to butter up to Nene anymore. So that's when they started to get into it. And they really started to get into it when Kenya befriended Cynthia, when Nene and Cynthia were on the outs. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Kenya befriended Cynthia to get at Nene. It is what it is, right? throughout that, whatever, possibly a real friendship grew off camera or whatever. So they're still pretty good friends today. But that's initially what that relationship was about. So that relationship reminds Nene of the fact that Kenya was coming to take her spot. At this point, Nene was on outs with a lot of people. It happens every season. So a lot of girls weren't featuring her, weren't filming with her, and her best friend was now becoming a best friend with Kenya. Because remember, even on that season when they started this friend thing, all of a sudden Kenya started calling Cynthia her sister. And then, they started doing all these things together and having all these scenes together. That was to get at Nene. And it worked. And she ain't never forgot that. And she ain't never forgave that girl for that. Even when she says that she wants to move forward, the reason why she goes so low is because she can't move forward. She hasn't moved forward. She's still mad at her about that time. Because Nene is the one who will go after everybody's paycheck. If she don't like you, she will ring Andy and be like, get rid of her, get rid of her, get rid of her, get rid of her, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody forgives her for that, right? The minute somebody comes at her paycheck, right, like Kenya does, now all of a sudden they've gone too far. You literally went on Watch What Happens Live and told Andy he should fire Portia. And she's still calling you sis. So it's just like they are the same thing and they can never become friends because one of them has to bow down to the other and they will not. Kenya did it before. Then she started getting popular. And now that she's just as popular as Nene, she won't back down. One of them got to be the top dog of this show. They cannot coexist in the same season. It just won't work. Let's talk about this Buffalo comment. So listen, I agree with the both of them, right? Kenya, right for being mad at Nene for calling her child a buffalo. Nene, you did it. You know what I mean? At first I was just like, she didn't call you a buffalo. Then we get the replay from the Shady Bravo editors and we see that Nene did say that. Here's where I agree with Nene because she said, I wasn't calling your daughter a buffalo. I did not call your child a buffalo. I was calling you a buffalo. That's not what she said. That's what she meant. I don't think that Nene meant to call Kenya's daughter a buffalo. I think she was making fun of the fact that this woman had gained a lot of weight during her pregnancy. You can even go back to that episode and see that the cameramen were zooming in on parts of her body that were bloated while Nene was talking about her being a buffalo, but basically calling her a water buffalo because of, the weight gain and the water weight and all of that stuff that she was dealing with. I think she was also dealing with preeclampsia. Is that how you call it? She was also dealing with that. That comment didn't go over well because she was dealing with a lot of things. And a lot of people were just like, how dare you make fun of a pregnant woman? Like it was ugly. It didn't go over well when she said it then, and it's still not going over well now, right? But I do believe that she wasn't coming at Brooklyn. She was coming at Kenya. And I think Kenya knows that. That's what bothers me. Because this happens a lot, especially when women in this group are wrong about something, they put it on their kids. So they try to justify their anger. They try to justify their actions, them being very nasty to say, well, I did that because you were talking about my children. Kenya, you know that she was talking about you. She was not talking about Brooklyn. Let me tell you something. Both seasons, we have not gotten Nene saying anything negative about Brooklyn. Why all of a sudden, this one moment that she sees you, before the baby is even born, she wants to make fun of the child on camera, okay? Like, this lady knows when she's being filmed. She knows how to get the party started. Like, she's not new to this, right? I just don't think she was talking about the baby. She was making that comment to make fun of Kenya's weight gain. In any context, if it's about the baby or if it's about Kenya, it's still wrong. I'm not agreeing with that, but I just think that Kenya knew that. Nene knew that. It was a comment about Kenya. I think the ladies also knew that. They were just like, no, she was making fun of you. Wrong, but that's what she was doing. So I think that Kenya was using Brooklyn to justify why she don't want to rock with Nene instead of just being honest and just being like, me and you, we going for the same crown. It's not going to work because you won't bow down and I'm not going to bow down. So this is how it's going to be. And I felt really bad for the women on the trip because they were having a good time. They were also having a really great time when Kenya and Nene were not around. And it's just really unfortunate because we've all been there. We've all been on them girls' trips. And there's always one or two girls that don't rock with each other, or they do rock with each other and they get into something on the trip and just ruin it for everybody. I was just like, man, I'd be real pissed if I was chilling in Greece on somebody else's dime and these two broads that I'm in a home with just make it a miserable experience. That's what I really felt bad for. I felt like Nene and Kenya, if they wanted to, they could get over it. But the thing about it is they will never get over it because one will not bow down to the other. It's not going to work with the both of them on this show. And the ladies will have to continue to either split hangouts or where they're all together, realize they are going to make it miserable. And I just, for the both of their checks, for Kenya and Nene, I'm like, y'all better figure that out. Y'all better figure that out, because if all the ladies go to the network, not even production, go to the network and say, we can't film with them, y'all both gone. Y'all popular, but y'all don't got the cast numbers. Everybody has to agree to film with everybody. If you're that person that nobody wants to film with, you're gone. So y'all got to make that work, but I just don't know how because they do not like each other. Somebody help me out here, because after, Nene is pulled away because she, tries to spit on Kenya, like, in your 50s, this is what we're doing? Anyway, after she's moved away, her and Marlo, and somewhere to calm down, she does come back eventually, but Kenya and Marlo then get into it. And I just felt like Marlo was right for wanting that apology, but I'm like, ma'am, wrong time. Wrong time. You just saw all this go on, and then you're like, well, I want an apology too. Like, not right now. Not right now. It was just bad timing. Anyway, she says that she wants an apology for Kenya walking in during the Kenya Moore hair care parade. Rightfully so. She deserved an apology for that. My issue with Kenya is that she was just like, well, 3 years ago, you made a comment about my mom. I got that, her mom and her relationship. I get that hurt you, right? You were still filming with Marlo, hanging out with Marlo, busting it up, acting like everything is cool. Never mentioned it until she rightfully wants an apology from something that you just did. You know what I mean? Her making a comment about your mom, low, right? You trying to destroy her business, low. You all survive off of the show and what you can get from it. To try to tank her business, like how you tried to take Cynthia's business, is just as wrong. That's one of my many problems with Kenya, is that she just does not take responsibility for the things that she does. And when she does, the apology is so terrible. Like that apology that she gave to Cynthia. She was saying nice things, but her whole demeanor was just like, I don't really mean this, but I just want to say this so I can get out of this situation. And Cynthia accepted it. So that's my thing with her. Like, she does these awful things. Nene says these awful things, never wants to apologize for it. When she does apologize for it, it's a terrible apology, and she's being forced to do it because none of the women want to film with her. Kenya does awful things repeatedly, is called out on it, doesn't want to apologize, but she deflects. And then when she's backed in the corner, and when she realizes that the only way she's getting out of this is if she apologizes, the apology is so like, it's backhanded, and it's also, well, I did that because you did this to me. That's not an apology. We're not discussing anything. An apology is apologizing for something that you said, something that you did. You're not justifying it in the apology, because then it's no longer an apology. Neither one... Nene and Kenya, y'all would be best of friends if y'all realize y'all the same person. Never acknowledge the apology, throws it out there, but then tries to justify your actions, therefore canceling out the apology. They do the same thing. If you guys, seriously, if they both came together, they would own this show. Like, they would run these girls, except for Candy. I don't think they could run Candy, but they will run these girls in the ground. It would be great TV, but it will never happen. Now let's get into Kenya's breakdown. So after all of this, after it doesn't go the way that she wants it to go with her and Marlo, because I think she just felt very defeated when all of the girls, even Candy, who is like her good friend outside of this show, even Candy was just like, no, what you did to Marlo was wrong, right? So when she realized that she didn't have any allies in her defense of what she had done to Marlo, she just got up and left, right? And then Candy goes and follows her. And I feel like, guys, in this moment, for however long I've been watching her on the show, I felt like this was the real Kenya. Because she was just like, I can't sit here and I can't have this conversation with everything that I'm going through. And she just broke down so much that she almost pushed Candy down them steps. When she pushed Candy, Candy was like, oh, hey. You know what I mean? But she knew that her friend was upset, so she didn't retaliate in that way. Candy's a good friend. She really, really is, until she's not, okay? But you are her friend. She's going to rock with you. And she was being a really good friend to Kenya in that moment. And that's what Kenya needed. That's exactly what she needed. But I feel like, unfortunately, in that moment, I was like, this is who you are. Not saying like there was a negative thing, but I felt like the facade, the beauty queen facade broke down. And this real woman was telling her friend, I'm going through it and I don't need any of this right now. And saying that, you can't do terrible things to people and then expect them to tend to you with kid gloves on because you're going through something. That's just not reality. You know what I mean? Not everybody is Tanya, because baby, if it was me, listen, I would not have taken my foot off your neck. But Tanya's a different person. You know what I mean? You can break up her home and she'll forgive you. You can attempt to break up her home and she'll be cordial with you, but that's just Tanya. But not everybody is like that. So I get that she wanted some kind of sympathy and wanted everybody to defend her, especially for what she was going through. I think they did that in the beginning, but I think at this moment, everybody was just like, that wasn't right. And you should apologize for that. I will say this though, this whole conversation, like I said before, with Nene, bad timing because the woman was inebriated. I think it was also very bad timing because Kenya had been dealing with a lot. Like her husband files for divorce and a publicist tells her about it. Like she didn't even know about it. And then she comes on this trip while her home is breaking apart and you guys want to clear up some messes she's had with other people. I think that's a great thing to do. Just not now. Woman's still wrong. Like, come on. Like, I get that she does horrible things, but looking at it as a human being, like, this just wasn't the right time for either of these women to have this conversation. And can I say, these last 3 episodes, Marlo has just been delivering. Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like she said, she does not have a peach, but she gets paid just as much as a lot of them. I think she makes the same amount as Eva, to be quite honest with you. No shade, but I would prefer her over Eva to hold the peach. Eva has been pregnant every time she's been on this show. Congratulations, but this is a TV show. Like, this is for entertainment. We need you to deliver. And Marlo has done that. She delivers in shade. She delivers in read. She delivers in messiness. And she delivers in fashions. That's what this show is about, guys. These Housewives shows were based off of Dynasty. We want the drama. We want the fashions. We want the drink throwing. We want the shade. We also want the laughs and the giggles. And I think that Marlo gives all of that. I just don't understand why she does not have a peach. Like before when people were saying, oh, it's because she's a felon. Listen, there are so many felons on this show alone, right? Okay. And then you look at the other housewives, a lot of them are felons at this point. So like that excuse is out the window. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like this woman gives. She gives it every time. I was cracking up at her this entire episode. She's hilarious. She is hilarious and she's fun to watch. She deserves the peach. When she called Cynthia a bald-headed scallywag, and Bob Marley, I forgot the Bob Marley comment. Calm down, Bob Marley. I forgot that comment. Marlo was funny. She delivers every time. And she also makes up with people so that the show can move forward. She is somebody I don't mind who produces storylines because she produces really good storylines. Give her a peach. I mean, come on. After all of this, she deserves. Again, I always say this because I really do enjoy it. I love when the ladies have fun. Because this to me is like real girl relationships. You know what I mean? I think that this is, no shade, the Housewife shows are a bastardized version of, you know, female relationships. But I think they have some truth to them. Like this scene where the ladies are on vacation playing games and having a really good time. This is something very relatable to me because this is, you know, what my girls and I do. We go, we have girls' nights, we have game nights, like we have fun. And it was just really fun watching them have fun. It was enjoyable to watch. And I love the fact that they're starting to put balance back in this show, which is what they have been missing for the last 3 seasons. It seems like somebody is watching my reviews, baby, because remember, I have always been the one saying, I want balance. I want balance. I don't want them fighting every episode. I don't want them crying every episode. I don't want them going through it every episode, because as a viewer, it's draining, because this is something that you're taking in for an hour. So you're taking in arguments for an hour every week. It's a lot. But if we show them in a healthy balance, I can stomach it. And this is something I could stomach, because we went from spitting on somebody to, playing games on the beach. Like, listen, it's a balance. It's a messy balance, but it's a balance. Thank you all for watching. I hope you liked, commented, subscribed, and shared. Since we're talking about production, taking my notes, let's talk about this producer, Marcus. I hope that you are getting a really nice paycheck, because for several seasons now, we have seen you get verbally and physically assaulted by Nene. Nene stays beating up on this man. Like, I don't know what kind of relationship they have, but he is always getting a cuss out from her or taking a shot to the head from her. So I don't know what their relationship is, but brother, I hope you are getting paid a nice coin to endure what you are enduring on the show. Because Candy and Cynthia decide to do this reenactment of Nene and Kenya. Again, great idea, bad timing. This was not, they are not cool. They are still really heated. You can see in the group dynamic, because they're on totally different sides. Like, they're not even looking at each other. They're not saying anything to each other. Why do you think that it was a good idea to do a reenactment of their conversation and do it in a way where you think the argument would have ended civilly, right? I get that. I get what they were trying to do, but read the room. These two were not cool. Like, it just wasn't, it wasn't the space to do it. I will say this though. Kenya handled that really well. Nene, very poorly. Very, very poorly, because she's just like, ooh, child, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, child. I'm not gonna sit here and watch this. I'm a pack and I'm a leave. That's when she gets into it with Marcus, who is trying to stop her because he wants to film this scene. You know what I mean? Probably he sat down with Cynthia and Kenya. Probably he sat down with Cynthia and Candy and was just like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Or they brought it to him, whatever. They didn't set this whole thing up. They didn't got the cameras ready. They didn't got all the shots that they're going to have. They're ready with the camera on Kenya. They're ready with the camera on Nene to get the reactions. And you get up and walk and you kill the whole shoot. So he's trying to keep her there so that they can film this scene. And then she just starts cussing him out. At the end of the day, this is your job, Nene. You know what I mean? Like, this is your job. This ain't your show, but this is your job. Vicki Gunvalson said it was her show. She's unemployed now. You know what I mean? So you have to, I get that you were not okay with what was going on. You still signed on for this show. And so this is what you have to do. Maybe this is why they didn't cut you out of the season. You can do one thing and the production company and the network can retaliate to you in a different way. Because I guarantee you the rate that she agreed to, that she signed to, is not the rate she got for this season. She signed on for a full season. Was only in, what, 5 or 6 episodes? She not getting that same check that she negotiated. So I hope you learn from this. So I was disappointed that Nene walked out, because I felt like if she was in a space to receive it, this could have ended well. This could have ended well. I don't know if Kenya was in a place to receive it, but I know she sat there, she laughed, you know what I mean? Like, she was at least receptive of the performance. It just, you don't always have to be a killjoy. That's it. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about in this episode. What did you think about this episode? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and wash your hands. And I will see you next Sunday for the following episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Love you guys. Be safe. We're going to get through this. Bye.